something. Anyway, just a comment, just to start. First of all, I appreciate you all being here. That's, I'm very proud of Michael Sam. I'm very proud of our football team and how we've dealt with this. And I think it's it just says so much for our family and our team, the kind of kids that we have and how much they care about each other. And that's we talk in our program all the time about respecting the cultural differences of other people. That's one of our core values, and this certainly applies to this. That we're going to be respectful and caring and kind to every one of our teammates, regardless of what your ideas and your thoughts are and how you think differently. It's still that's very, very important to us, and I'm very proud of that.
So did Mike ask you to have a team meeting? Is that how this thing, how we deal with it?
Michael, we have the dinners, and we call them crossover dinners. And the crossover dinners, we started doing it a few years ago, and we do more of them now because the seniors that leave always suggest that we do them again. And basically, our crossover dinners is I'll take about 14 players from all different positions, guys that generally don't hang around each other, and I'll take them over to my house. And Coach Cool will take 14 over, and Coach Henson and Hill, and everybody will do that. So our whole football team is sitting in the homes, and what we'll do is we'll be eating dinner, and then I'll stand up and I'll look at all the 14 guys there, and I'll say, I'm Gary Pinkel. I grew up in Akron, Ohio. My mom and dad talk about my family, talk about anything that happened in my life. And then James Franklin's next to me. He stands up and he does the same thing. And we go in depth. The guys lay it on the line, and it's very important because you really, I think you get an appreciation and understanding of the background of what your teammates have gone through. And sometimes it's just I call it the Ozzie and Harriet, where there's kind of perfect little family, everything worked out great, mom, dad, everything else. And more often than not, there's a lot of struggles that kids go through. And Michael at that time was with a group, and I'm sure which coach it was now. He called me afterwards when it happened, but he said that Michael came out there and told that all those players that he was gay. And then the next morning, I got together with the captains and asked the team how the team's doing, and he said fine, and I wanted to see Michael, obviously. And Michael came in to see me, and I said, Michael, I said, I'm really proud of you, I love you, and I hugged him. And then we sat down, and then we got Chad in there, and we kind of talked about what he wanted to do. And what do you want to do? You want to announce this? What are you thinking? And we kind of discussed scenarios with him. Ultimately, without question, it's your decision. And you think about it tonight and let us know tomorrow. So he came in the next morning, as I recall, and he said, Coach, I don't want a distraction here. I want to focus on winning football games, and I want the team to have their best year, and for me to have my best year. And I said, you sure you want to do that? He goes, yeah. And so we honored that. And then I said, whenever you decide to do it, whenever it is, you just let me know. And, we have 100% support.
If he had announced mid-season, do you think that would have been a distraction?
Oh, I possibly. I think that was the possibility. Yeah, it possibly would have. And, I think he didn't want that, and he didn't want it. I talked to him briefly right after the season was over. He didn't want to do it before the bowl game, so I had no idea when it was going to happen. And from him talking to me last week when he was here, is that he was, down at the Senior Bowl, and that it was common. It was known by most people that they knew he was gay, and he wanted to tell his story. And I think it's a great statement by Michael Sam. He wanted just to tell his story, and it came from him. And last night when he said, on ESPN that I'm a college graduate, I'm African American, I'm gay. It was awesome. It was very important to me to see that.
Gary, the way you're
draftability, I don't know. I'd like to think it wouldn't. This is uncharted territories. I think certainly, the NFL recognizes societal changes, like we all do, and I would like to think it would not affect it at all. Time will tell where it goes, but they're going to have to deal with these same things as everyone else will.
Gary, does the way your team handled it give you hope for the way whatever locker room Michael is in down the road might handle it?
Yeah, on ESPN this morning on Mike and Mike, they asked me about that too. Asked me about how our team handled this, and how we dealt with it, and so on and so forth. And I talked about our core values and all our core values at the time that we have, and that's ingrained. When a freshman comes in, we talk about our core values, and we talk about 2 or 3 times a year, and we bring in speakers sometimes, right? One of them is being respectful of women, and so we bring in all different types of people and to help our players understand all these concepts. So for us, it just wasn't just worked out real good in 1 year. We talk about these type things. We also, I'm a firm believer, and I talk to my players all the time about you're in your locker room. One of the great experiences being in a locker room for football players is just the camaraderie. It's just fun to be in a locker room. And guys like to get after each other, But when you get after each other, and I use the term when you start drawing blood, when it starts getting personal, then guess what? You go backwards, and our full football team goes backwards. Things that I heard about that happened to the Miami Dolphins, down there. You can't act like that on our team. We're not going to do that. Okay, that doesn't make you a tough guy around here. We don't do that. We're respectful of people. So our guys, I warn them all the time. You got to watch where you go when you start getting too personal. And getting back to your question, that's the question. What are the locker rooms going to be like in the NFL? And I don't know how that will be done.
Gary, have you been able to talk to NFL coaches or front office staff about not just having a gay player in the locker room, but just Michael, Sam in general?
No, not at all. That hasn't come up at all. It's only been 24 hours, so I'm sure people will get some phone calls. Probably some other universities also, kind of how we dealt with this, and that's all good.
Coach, how would you typify the reaction of the teammates? Were they 100% supportive? Were there some people who weren't, that they kind of held back and you shoot their mouths off? How did that dynamic?
I think overall it was remarkably positive. I thought they embraced him, but I also am not naive enough to think that you got 127 players, okay, and that everybody's got ideas and thoughts and opinions on all kinds of social issues, situations, and I think that would some of the players not agree with? They have their own opinion on it, maybe not favorably, possibly, but that's okay. It's not about what my opinion is on it, okay, either. It's about being respectful to people. Okay? Be respectful to people. And if you're part of our family, you're part of our football program, part of our team, we are going to be respectful of the differences amongst us and embrace and support each other. That's what we do here at Mizzou.
Coach, what is it about Michael Sam himself and the way he carried himself this year that allowed your locker room and your culture to maintain that kind of professional workplace that he so desperately wants in the NFL?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a lot of the family things we do. I think it's talk about those dinners we have, and we're constantly talking about how important it is to be close as a football team and such. And I don't. We have great leadership, with seniors, the captains. We have a lot of great kids and a lot of great people. But we talk about these things. We talk about the differences and how we have to be as a program. And I don't know in the NFL if they have specific rules on how they're going to handle things like that. I think every organization is probably different, just like every college football team is a little bit different.
In the interview, he talked about being from Hinton, Texas. He said 2 of his brothers are in jail. One of them was shot down. His sister died when he was 2 years old. Given that background, how did this kid make it out of Hitchcock, Texas to begin with?
Well, he came to Missouri, okay, and he's a college graduate, as I mentioned before. He drove me crazy a lot of times. He doesn't shut up sometimes. He talks and talks and talks. You always know he's in with my secretary because you can hear him, and I have to close the door because I can't concentrate. But he's really matured as a young man, and I'm very proud of him. We were very well aware of his background as we do our evaluation process, but felt that the upside and so many other positive things we had heard about him. It was his chance to I think to kind of start over again, and think he did a really good job.